Professor Swaran Singh, are we dealing with a sort of a political party which says one thing and does the other thing, like Taliban? The women will be safe, the education will be safe, and now they have ended education for women in Afghanistan for all ages. So are we really dealing with a Bangladeshi Taliban here?
I think some of these far-right radical Islamist parties once in a while do take pragmatic decisions when they are feeling vulnerable to certain situations, like elections coming now. But we have to
pragmatic or opportunistic?
DNA.
Because they'll change it.
Absolutely. So it's an opportunistic or pragmatic, whichever way you look at it. Okay. Those are sort of aberrations rather than being the norm. Because their essential DNA from August 1941, when Jamaat-e-Islami was first set up in Lahore, has always been radical Islamists, and therefore their views on women all the way to their current Amir, Dr. Shaifur Rahman, repeated media interviews of his, including the recent one in Al Jazeera, I think, not only shows discrimination, but as Ambassador Sikri mentioned, very harsh language to be used against women, and now saying women and minorities will be accommodated in the cabinet post-elections is absolutely ridiculous. And we have to look at the second equally important fact, that other than being, far-right radical Islamists, they have always been also anti-India, and indeed they were against liberation of Bangladesh. So, the whole turnaround now in their 41-point manifesto just a week before elections are coming is definitely showcasing opportunist approach, as you mentioned. And I think India has to be very careful. And I think third very quick point, they are mentioning to have cooperative and constructive relations with India, with a whole lot of other countries mentioned along. There are countries that are lined up as Nepal, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Egypt, Kuwait, Morocco, Nigeria, Romania, so many other countries. Similarly, when they ask India to send observers on these elections, they list several countries who have already agreed to send their observers, including 6 international organizations. So, even the gesture toward India is not uniquely, exclusively India gesture. It's a gesture in general to say we'll be nice guys to everybody else until we come to power. And I'm sure when they come to power, they'll try to do things that they always believe they should be doing, implementing Sharia law. Of course, now they are saying that hours for women workers who have children will be reduced, etc.
Okay.
etc. So these are, as you're mentioning, opportunistic gestures, and we have to look at the DNA of Jamaat instead of looking at their recent efforts to accommodate situation.
Okay. Professor Swaran Singh, do you agree with this, that with 40% of the people outside the voting arena, the population will lack complete legitimacy?
I think there is a certain pendulum shift, if you allow me to say that, okay. Because Bangladesh, for a long period of time, the politics was dominated by 2 women. And also, if you understand the liberal nature of Bengali culture and empowerment of women in Bengali culture, that seems to be under serious clout now, because it seems the radical Islamic forces and the number of women today contesting these elections is very limited. Jamaat is contesting 179 seats out of 300, and they will of course nominate the rest of the 50 depending on proportional representation. They have not put even a single women candidate, and in that sense, invisibility of women in Bangladesh politics is reflective of far-right parties getting into influence. So even if Jamaat doesn't control the entire Sansad, the whole narrative has shifted. So even other political parties are beginning to kind of align with that kind of new mood.
Okay.
I think that new mood is towards some kind of a mindset. And that kind of pendulum shift, I think, is very visible right now.
Okay, very quickly.